He's the world's best-known commodities investor with his Rogers International Commodity Index. He's also the author of Hot Commodities and his latest, Street Smarts. Jim Rogers is my guest next on The Spot. Jim Rogers, good to have you back on the show.
I am delighted to be here again.
Jim, last time we saw each other was roughly a year ago in Las Vegas, and you had told me, look, if we have a 50% correction in gold, it wouldn't be unusual. 1 year later, Jim, what are your thoughts on the gold market and the recent volatility that we've seen?
Well, my thoughts are still the same. Gold is still correcting. Gold has not had a 50% correction. As you know, that is very unusual because most things have a 50% correction every 2 or 3 or 4 years in any market, no matter what it is. I own my gold. I haven't sold my gold. I've hedged some of my gold. But no, I would not be surprised if gold doesn't continue to go down. I expect there to be another opportunity to buy gold sometime in the next year or two, just as I did the last time I saw you.
So with gold right now really trying to maintain the $1,300 level, what are you doing right now, Jim?
If gold goes to 1,000, it's not a prediction, but if it does, that would be a 50% correction. Then I hope I'm smart enough to buy a lot more. But Daniela, if America goes to war with Russia, I'll buy gold at 1,600 and be glad to get it. So it really depends on what happens in the world.
Jim, let's talk China now. A study published last week, in which the World Bank also participated in, indicated that China is set to overtake the U.S. as the world's largest economy. Now, you are really one of the first to understand China's eventual dominant role in the global economy. What are your thoughts on this study?
Well, I'm not surprised at all. I'm surprised that it's happened as fast as it has. I certainly expected it to happen this decade. Certainly not on a per capita basis, but China continues to grow and America continues to stagnate. I don't particularly like saying it since I'm an American citizen, taxpayer, and voter, but one has to face facts.
Jim, a few months back, you sounded the alarm on the eventual collapse of the U.S. dollar. This is something you strongly believe in, saying, heck, who knows, we might even adopt Bitcoin. What led you to believe, or what leads you to believe we will see the collapse of the dollar, Jim?
Don't you expect the U.S. dollar to collapse someday? I mean, America's the largest debtor nation in the history of the world, and the debt is going higher and higher and higher. Every country in world history that's gotten itself into this kind of situation has had a crisis or a semi-crisis. I certainly hope America doesn't, but come on, let's look at history. It's never happened. And I'm afraid it will happen to us. I don't expect it to happen this year, but it's certainly going to happen in the next several years. In my lifetime, and certainly in your lifetime, there's no question it will happen.
So what's the solution, Jim, for America?
I repeat, I'm an American also. I want it to succeed too. But the only thing that's going to save America is if somebody comes in with a chainsaw and cuts spending, cuts just dramatic spending, and also comes in and changes a lot of laws. We've got horrible litigation laws in America. No, America has to change the tax code completely. No, America can certainly be saved. Will it be without a crisis? No country in world history that's gotten itself into this kind of situation has gotten out without a crisis or a semi-crisis.
On that note, Jim, let's talk the Fed. I know you don't really like commenting on it, but now that Bernanke's gone, what do you think of Janet Yellen's decisions thus far?
I mean, come on, she's the same thing. She's been down there all along. They all, eat in the same dining room, and they all think the same thoughts. They all went to the same Ivy League schools, and they all have the same absurd theories and absurd notions. There's no difference. Absolutely no difference. She and Bernanke were the ones who taught Greenspan the little that he knew. But now, they taught Greenspan, and now they're keeping up the same old stuff.
Jim, before I let you go, what are you liking these days?
Well, I'm looking, starting to buy Russia. I bought some Russia back when they went into Crimea. The Chinese are putting in great changes into their economy. I expect there to be another problem in the Chinese stock market, but I've started buying small positions in the things that the Chinese government has said they're going to spend huge amounts of money on in the next few years. But for the most part, I'm sitting and watching. not much to do right now.
Jim, on that note, it's always a pleasure.
I'm delighted to see you. I hope we don't have to wait another year.
Thanks, Jim. And thanks for watching this edition of On the Spot with Jim Rogers. Email us at newsfeedback@kitco.com. Thanks for watching.